A seismic shift in health policy. The Food and Drug Administration now authorizing some fruit-flavored e-cigarettes and vapes intended for adult smokers. Previously, only tobacco or menthol-flavored vape products were approved by the FDA. This federal intervention comes as the number of teens who turn to vapes hits a 10-year low. Vaping companies have pressured the White House to loosen restrictions, arguing these products can help people stop smoking traditional tobacco products. This authorization is now raising concerns among doctors and parents. And joining us to talk more about the impacts of this change in policy is Dr. Jason Rose, Chief of Pulmonology at the University of Maryland Medical Center. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Rose.
Thank you very much for having me today.
So what was your initial reaction to this decision by the FDA?
I think that it gave me concern. I've been studying vaping and e-cigarettes for almost 10 years now, and we just don't understand the safety risks of them. And so any action that could potentially increase young people using these products gives me concern.
So why are flavors still such a flashpoint in this debate? What's the significance of that?
Well, previously, the FDA was only approving tobacco-flavored or menthol-flavored vaping products, which classically have not attracted younger people just for their flavor profile. When you start introducing, we'll say, more fun flavors like fruit flavors or candy flavors, it makes it a little bit more attractive to younger people to start to try to use these products. And that's really what starts the cycle of chronic use and potentially using other products with tobacco.
Is there evidence to supporting the claims that vapes make smokers quit traditional smoking?
That's a complex topic. There's people who have smoked combustible cigarettes for many, many years and have developed chronic diseases. And there's some that argue that perhaps switching to a vaping product might be less risky to their health than classic cigarettes, which we very much know there's a lot of risk to. Now, that said, we have over 100 years of evidence on what the impacts of cigarettes are. Really, if you look at vaping products, they weren't introduced into the United States till around 2010. You didn't even see with tobacco or cigarettes until 30 years after their introduction, really the health impact. That's what everyone's really worried about is we don't know what the long-term risks are.
From a public health standpoint, is vaping, could it be considered the lesser of two evils, or is that too simplistic?
I think right now the jury's still out on is vaping worse or less risky than combustible cigarettes. And we won't know that for sure for probably decades. So many people are studying in the community about how can we predict what the health risks for vaping and e-cigarettes are. If you look back to 2019, there was an outbreak in the United States of over 2,500 young people who developed e-cigarette or vaping use-associated lung injury, which hospitalized almost 2,800 and actually killed some young people, showing that there's at least some risk to these products. Now, that was a particular set, but to say that they're safe, we don't say that.
Should parents be concerned about this policy change?
I think that it is always important to make sure what your children are potentially using as far as cigarettes or vaping products. A lot of these products still contain nicotine, and that is an addictive substance, and we know that. And so you wouldn't want your child to start using or start a nicotine addiction per se. And they're very popular in high schools and even in middle schools. So it's important to talk to your children about there are risks. I always advise as a pulmonologist, the only thing that you should be inhaling is clean air.
That's great advice. I love it. Dr. Rose, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your time. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Appreciate being here.